Well, this is going to be a slightly different video than what you're typically used to on my channel. For those of you that were following along with the Facebook Live stuff, about a week ago, I want to bring all of you up to speed. If you have not heard what was going on, about a week and a half ago, my dad started passing out, losing blood, and took him to the hospital. He went through a week long of, he had to get a pacemaker put in. They had to find out why he was bleeding internally. And so that's where we left a couple weeks ago. I flew home Friday before Christmas, the 23rd. I got Dad home, and I preached our Christmas Eve services here at Christ Church. And then we've just kind of been in a hurry up and wait mode. So they did 2 colonoscopies. They put in the pacemaker. They did some biopsies. And this is what I want to tell you. And I need you guys to pray. That's what I need. And there's been an incredible, I call them Jimmy's Army. There's just been an incredible army of people around this country praying for my dad. And I know a lot of you have been doing that. And I'm going to commission you. And I think I'm going to start doing these updates right here on my YouTube channel. It's easier for me to just kind of sit down, gather my thoughts, and put them out there to all of you. So I would ask you to do a couple things for me. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is where we are going to put up videos just keeping you kind of in the loop of what's going on with Dad. And then I want to loop you into what we know at this point. I got a phone call the Tuesday after Christmas, so I guess the 27th, so 3 days ago. Dad called me from the doctor's office, and at this point in time, Dad has been diagnosed with colon cancer. Now, we knew that they were going to have to take this portion of the colon out already, but now there's cancer there. And we don't know how far it is. People have been asking that know what stage is it, how far along is it. We don't know any of those things at this point. Here's what we do know. They're going to do the surgery. They're scheduling that surgery this week. My prayer is this, is that it's contained right there. They can take the lymph nodes, they can get those out, and they can get it all with no more repercussion to health, that Dad will be free and clear. The surgery is going to be very invasive. They have to go in, they got to cut him from basically belly button up. He's got all this mesh from a previous surgery, so they're literally going to have to use like chainsaws and angle grinders to get inside there. And then he's going to spend about 7 to 10 days in the hospital, and we are praying that they can get it all. So here's what I know. I hate cancer. I hate it. I don't know anybody that's not affected by it. I absolutely hate cancer, and this just became more real. I've been kind of in a fog and a fuzz the last couple days, been trying to get my head around it. Dad and I have had a lot of conversations. Mom and I have had a lot of conversations. Here's what I know, though, is that one, our family's eternity, we know where we're headed. We're secure. Now, that doesn't make this any easier, and that's also not going to doom and gloom. We're not there yet. It's hard sometimes not to go to those places, though. Think worst case scenarios, carts before horses kind of thing. The problem is sometimes you have to get those carts prepared just in case. So Dad and I have had some real reality conversations, and I got to tell you, there's been a couple nights where I've just laid in bed, and I almost feel like a little boy, like I'm not ready for these conversations about my daddy. But the reality is I'm a grown man. And I still love my father deeply, like I'm his little boy. But I also understand that this life is temporary. And we're praying now for a lot of years and longevity beyond this. But we're also preparing for what could be the worst and hoping for the best. And I hope you don't hear that as anything more than there's a reality to this life, is that we are all going to leave it at some point. And so I think what I really want to do right here in these videos is I want to take you on the journey of where we're headed, in hopes that it'll bring hope to somebody else, in hopes that Dad's story and our story of dealing with cancer, which cancer sucks. I hate it. If that offends you, I'm sorry. That's just kind of where my emotions are today. Cancer sucks. And we're going to take the journey together. And this is what I really believe. I believe there's an army of people that have already been praying for my dad, that are going to continue to pray for my dad. Pray for my mom. Dad, I know you're going to watch this. Mom, you will too. I know my dad's greatest concern through all this is my mom. And that says a lot about their 52 years of marriage that they're about to celebrate January 7th. And it says a lot about the character of my father. And so that's kind of where we're at today. And I know this is kind of, it's kind of heavy. But here's what I do know. Already, Dad's story from being in the hospital is having eternal implications. We've already been in contact with one of the nurses whose son is dealing with PTSD. There's a couple other nurses we've been praying for that have been following Dad's journey. And so what I would say to all of you is pray that God would receive absolutely complete glory through this whole process. Dad sent me a text the other night and it just said, I'm not going out without a fight. So cancer, you don't know what you're up against, because we are going to fight you with everything we've got. And any of you out there that are dealing with cancer right now, I've got a really good friend here in Cincinnati named Dennis, who I know has been battling this horrific disease. Cancer, you don't get to win. We are going to kick your butt, and we're coming strong. DeVages don't go out easy, and I know Jimmy DeVage ain't gonna go out that easy at all. So do me a favor. If you've watched this, our family would greatly appreciate a couple things. On our YouTube channel, you can just comments there. Dad can go find those all in one place. That's kind of why I'm gonna put this on Facebook, but I'm gonna ask you just to, if you're gonna comment on it, go over to YouTube and do that. There's a little like button on YouTube. If you hit that, just kind of in support of Dad and prayers for him. And then I'm just going to give you the journey. I'm probably going to end up back out in Maryland a couple days before his surgery. We don't know when that's going to be yet. They've got consults this week. Once we know all that, I will give you all the details. But this is why I love social media right here. Social media can get an army of people surrounding each other, loving on one another. If you know somebody that's going through this, if you have a family member going through this, a mom or a dad going through this, here's what I would encourage you to do. Utilize social media for these kind of things. I could give a rip about your political arguments. I can give a rip about our political correctness on social media. I'll tell you what I care about on social media is the gospel of Jesus Christ being furthered, the hope of Christ being talked about, and rallying the troops to help people in need. That's when I think social media becomes its greatest form. And so our family vlogs, I was going to do a whole series on why we vlog. I'll tell you the number one reason we vlog. One is so we have memories together. Two is so we can help bring hope to the world around us. Those are two really simple ways. And now three, so I can mobilize more people to help pray for my dad and to help pray for you and to help bring hope in what seems like hopeless situations sometimes. So this isn't a typical all-day D, but this is a opportunity to rally our troops. So we love you, and I will give you more updates soon. I hope you have a great New Year's Eve, and we'll see you in 2017.